So, hello and welcome to another episode of the Turn 5 podcast. And for the third week in a row, Chris is not here. And for the second week in a row, I think, Nia's not here either.
Yeah.
However, both of them have actually sent in their predictions this week. So, Ben, what penalty are we giving them this week? Is that just a black and white?
I don't know, but it's like there's an opportunity here for us. I feel like we've got to take it. So, little points deduction.
Yeah. It's got to be a points deduction for Chris because he didn't send in his before FP1. Nia actually did. So, I don't know. I feel like that's a 10-second stop go and 2 penalty points.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
And to sort of up the numbers because we're slightly short, we brought back Sonja.
Yay, hi.
Definitely not a last-minute super sub drafted
Absolutely not.
So this week we'll be obviously talking about all of the Formula 1 action from Spain, but we were joined by Formula 2, Formula 3 and W Series. So we've got a lot to get through. So I think we'll start with Spain quali, FP1.
FP1. Could say practice.
Practice was
certain team.
Yeah, the news sort of started before the action did with a certain drinks company unforgiving with their banter. The entire Red Bull pit wall was drinking the green edition this weekend. Which
is actually delicious, can I just say?
Homage, shall we say, of the Aston Martin new upgrade package, which looks suspiciously like the Red Bull.
It happens.
I mean, yeah, it's just ironic that it's the same team again. So,
I think the memes were great.
Oh yeah, whenever this happens now, it's just complete meme fire. Just everything goes off.
I can see it being Christian Horner's idea.
Oh, we'll fall over. I mean, it's difficult to say if they're in the right or wrong at this point because the rules were very clearly updated after the whole pink Mercedes debacle and their rear brakes and all of this, that, and the other. So as long as they can just prove that they did it through photographs, then fine. And to be honest, given their performance in qualifying, I don't think anyone's really complaining just yet.
Yeah, it didn't really pay off.
No. Gunter came out with a classic Gunter Savage quote of, look at all these teams and all their upgrade packages. And meanwhile, both our cars are in Q3 and we didn't bring anything.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's called efficiency.
The Steiner ship has sailed once again.
Mate, that Steiner ship's halfway around the world at this point. He's loving it.
He's doing a Columbus at this point.
Yeah. Just he's on a cruise. Let's put it that way. But yeah, both Astons, even in their green Red Bulls, were out in Q1. Albon and Latifi obviously joined them. FP1, Albon sat out for Nick de Vries, which was my old prediction that de Vries would go faster than Latifi.
Prediction.
And he did.
Of course he did.
Vindication. So I think I said if it happens that de Vries will take Latifi's seat mid-season.
Mid-season?
Summer break.
I don't know.
I think it can happen. Because, okay, yes, Latifi beat Albon in the race this time, but Albon had floor damage.
Yeah.
Albon has wiped the floor with Latifi.
Yeah, he's got points
every
twice.
Single race. Yeah, he's got
twice,
scored points on 2 occasions. And he's just completely shown Latifi up.
Yeah. I think this is definitely Latifi's last season in F1.
Yeah.
because I don't think they need the money that he obviously brings that desperately anymore. I think he's like he was always like a nice driver and like good to have around, it seems like.
Yeah.
So it's not like other situations we've had. So I think he's like, he will be missed at some point, like maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
the
he will
team
be,
will
I
miss
think,
the supply of
yeah.
Nutella he brings.
But I do think that he'll be somewhat successful in other racing series. I think
I
he
mean,
would
we've
fit
seen
he would fit in Indy.
Grosjean. Yeah, exactly. We've seen Grosjean and Magnussen. They went over to IndyCar. They've been pretty successful.
Yeah.
Grosjean's in the top 10 for the 500, isn't he? After their qualifying.
I think Latifi would fit in Indy.
But yeah, I could see that working, and especially he's Canadian, so
yeah. I think he would bring in fans and stuff.
Well, I mean, it's more he can then be closer to family if his family still live over there, sort of thing, and maybe probably has a bigger following in Canada than he otherwise would in other European/World Series. So, because the other option is sort of to go down the WEC route and endurance racing, which we've seen other drivers do. So yeah, it's options, like
Formula E.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of people go to there. I mean, De Vries is obviously the champion after winning Formula 2. Giovinazzi, good old Italian Jesus. He's not doing quite so hot in Formula E. Last I looked. Still getting that fan boost though. Good old Italian Jesus superpower there.
All Kimi Räikkönen fans are voting for him.
Yes, definitely. But was it Stoffel did Formula E for a bit? Felipe Massa did Formula E for a bit. So, there's a bit of a history of F1 drivers going to do Formula E as and when they choose to, or as and when they lose their seat.
I mean, when Nick De Vries won Latifi F2, Latifi obviously was second, and he got picked for Williams due to monetary advantages.
Yeah, but since the Doralton payout, they've said they don't need it anymore. So I feel like his time is coming to an end.
Yeah.
And
in F1.
Yeah.
At least.
And if Doralton can afford to make a payout to end that contract early, Nick De Vries might just sit in for the second half of the season. That's my opinion.
That is a bold prediction.
But there were rumours swirling around that De Vries is definitely in the hunt for that seat, and Williams are keen to get him in.
I think he'll be in the seat next season. That's my prediction.
Yes, contract talks are interesting. So, do you think there could be like a straight swap De Vries's FE seat for Nick's F1 seat?
Ooh.
Just like, look, we want your driver. You can have ours.
He has money.
He'll bring you Nutella.
if it happens mid-season, maybe, but end of season, no, because Mercedes changing to McLaren in Formula E.
Pato Award coming over.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. I don't know if he'll go FE. I know he wants an F1 seat. So.
Yeah, but I think. Like, obviously, Lando's not going to leave McLaren anytime soon.
No, he's signed a massive extension to 2025. So,
and like, I don't think that Danny Rick will leave for next season.
No, I think he's under contract till the end of 23.
23, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge change in the grid, I think, in the next 2-3 years, because obviously we have some drivers that are above 35 who might end their F1 career at some point in the next let's say 3 years. So there's going to be a big change in the upcoming seasons.
I mean, we've got an over 40.
Yeah, Alonso, Hamilton is 38.
I think
around there.
Somewhere around there.
Vettel too, at the mid-30s. So it's going to be interesting.
Vettel can just stay forever.
Yeah, we love him.
That was kind of like the interview with Alonso. It was just like, so do you think you got a third world championship? And it's like, yeah, you hope that one year you'll have the package and everything just kind of falls into place for you. And it's like confirmed Alonso stays until he wins the championship.
Would that be the two, like if he won, let's say next year, would that be the championship with most years apart? Probably.
That is an incredible stat. And I think you might be right.
Because I'm thinking back and I don't think there's been because that would be wait, how many years? Wait, 6, 7, 15 years?
List of F1 world champions.
Oh no, 16 years. It was 26. 2006, 2005 and 2006 he won.
Yeah.
Because 2007 was Kimi.
Okay, so
I've watched the Grill the Grid video enough. I could go back to 1990. Then I'm losing it. Yeah, so it was 16 years.
The biggest gap would be the one in my mind is Schumacher.
No, but that's 95 to 2000.
Yeah.
But
16 years would be a madness.
Looking at it,
Hamilton was 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2008. No, 6. 2008 to 14.
Yeah.
That is the biggest gap.
What, 6 years?
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah, I can't think of.
Unless I'm missing something.
No, I don't think so.
81 to 87 for Nelson Piquet.
Nelson Piquet. But no more than 10, surely.
No.
No. I mean, it's not going to happen, let's be honest. But...
No, but that would be a fantastic pub quiz question.
I mean, I like Alonso. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I see, because his contract's out at the end of the year, unless I don't remember him saying he's signed an extension or anything. I think it's like an option. But for me, I feel like what they're doing is Piastri is shadowing him and learning what he can, and then we'll step in when Alonso steps out, sort of thing.
It has to be like that. There's no other way. Piastri needs a seat.
It wouldn't make sense to me to just keep Piastri around otherwise. Because
he's there every single time. I can just say Piastri is a great commentator, because on F1 TV sometimes he's doing the post-race show and stuff, and he's great.
Oh, they got
very eloquent.
They got Nick De Vries in the com box at one point on Sky, and they were like, "Right, your seat's basically confirmed now." And they went through the list of the preview. There was Latifi, Russell, all of these other F2 guys, and they'd all done a little bit in the com box, and then they got their F1 seat.
Yeah.
But they kept peppering him with questions so when you next getting in the Williams, because obviously each team has to run a rookie twice, one in each car, and Nick De Vries is the Mercedes reserve driver, so he's they joked that he could get 4 sessions in, 2 at Williams, 2 at Mercedes.
Would you be able to get 2 at McLaren as well?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So,
who else is a Mercedes test driver?
Stoffel.
Oh yeah. He hasn't really been in the talks.
But I feel like McLaren might do Pato O'Ward for an FP1.
Yeah.
Because that would be phenomenal. And then obviously they've got Mario Andretti doing one at Cota after that agreement with Zach. Casually slap an 82-year-old on the wheel.
That'd be so good.
Just make sure he takes any dentures out first. Gone. I think that's most of the news from practice.
Yeah.
Having gone off.
The rest wasn't really surprising apart from the Haas both being in Q3. Mick's first time in Q3.
Yeah. Sad Lando noises.
He did recover that incredibly well, considering the circumstances as well.
Yeah, he got diagnosed with tonsillitis, which was announced after the race. But literally, all the drivers do their whole cool down lap radio messages, and Lando just was not talking because he was that ill. So his race engineer was like, "Can you just give us a click on the wheel if you're okay?" It's like, thank God the steering wheels are that technical that you can just
Yeah.
twist a dial and they see it.
The pit confirm button is the
That's the
okay,
okay
button,
button.
Brad.
Definitely cost him his job, that. I don't care if they say he got a promotion. That definitely cost him his job. Right, qualify. As we've already covered, both Aston Martins and both Williams were out in Q1. The driver to join them, Fernando Alonso.
I was
great.
surprised.
But then they did the whole strategic. It's like a squeegee, but strategic.
Yeah.
A strategic squeegee. They did the whole strategic thing of basically just putting a whole new power unit in. So he only lost 3 places instead of whatever penalties you otherwise would accrue for
10,
slapping
I think.
in. Well, it depends how many components you change, really.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it would have been 5. So might as well, you're back there anyway. Why not? Q2 was Zhou Guanyu in 15th, Gasly and Tsunoda 14th and 13th, Ocon in 12th, and Lando in 11th. After having his lap time deleted.
Track limits.
At turn 12.
It was a strange corner to have it.
I didn't even know you could fit a whole car off the track there. If I tried that in the game, like at least the whole of the left wheel is in the gravel, and I'm out of there. I'm gone.
We needed like the other side of the car just to make sure that it was over the line. But if
we just needed one of those static cameras there, like they have at the other corners where they're observing track limits.
As long as they keep consistent with it,
yeah,
no issue with it.
So then, top 10 shootout was both Haas's, Danny Rick, Valtteri Bottas, both Red Bulls, both Mercedes, both Ferraris. Decent crew. Max had an issue on his second flying run, and when asked about the issue on Sky afterwards, Christian Horner said it was an issue with his DRS, which he did have, but the audio bit that they were playing for the clip was when he was halfway around turn 3, and it just sounded like his engine sort of half gave up. So I don't know what that was, but it didn't crop up again in the race. So maybe they just decided that he'd lost so much time from his DRS not opening that lap wasn't going to be worth it anyway.
Yeah.
But that meant that Charles put it on pole, Max P2, Carlos P3. George Russell getting up into P4 though. So, and with Hamilton in 6th, the Mercedes upgrade package has worked.
Slowly crawling back.
Yeah. George Russell is really like doing God's work in that Mercedes.
It just reminds me of rocket-powered Mohawk. It's just like, it literally brought up the fact that Toto apologized to Lewis for the car after he finished P14 in Imola, and then he goes off really like Twitter comments. It's like George Russell P4.
Yeah, literally.
It's just like the cars aren't that different in the grand scheme of things.
That's not a 10 position difference.
No, exactly. But I mean, where are they now? 1.2 tenths was their difference in their quali runs. So I feel like that is much more reasonable. It's more representative, shall we say. But again, George has outperformed Lewis.
Lewis was very, very unlucky, though.
True.
To extent.
But in quali, not so much.
Yeah, quali.
In the race, a little bit. Still put in a mammoth drive. We'll give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that listens to the podcast know I'm not the biggest Lewis Hamilton fan. Far from it. But I will concede that was a good drive.
Credit where credit's due.
What I won't concede is his poor attitude on like lap 5.
Yeah.
Where he
That's very
radioed in.
unlike him.
But what's the point?
He done it last year. I forgot what race it is, but I remember him saying
there was another radio message just like, let's just pack it up, guys. And it's like, why? Why the defeatist attitude? We're 5 laps into a 66 lap race. We haven't even got to the first pit stop window yet. Yes, you're half a minute off the back of the field, but you're running in clean air. You can run at your own pace.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't get the points until you cross the line, much to Charles Leclerc's disappointment.
that is a Will Buxton statement, that is.
Thank you.
Hungary last year when they didn't pit for him. No,
because he was dead last. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny though.
Because they done goofed.
Yeah.
That was one of the weirdest restarts ever. Him just alone on the grids.
Makes for great content though. So yeah, not a fan of that side of it, but once he actually bucked his ideas up and got on with it, great drive. It was kind of like a steady progress though, wasn't it? Because like we didn't, there was a bit where he was pumping in like fastest lap. But other than that, it was just kind of, okay, everyone else is pit and now Lewis is ahead of them and is still going pretty fast. And then Lewis pits again and everyone else pits again and somehow Lewis ends up P5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like oh wait.
He's there
here.
now?
Yeah, that's similar to when Yuki finished P4 last season. And everybody was like, wait.
How did you get here, sir?
Yeah, literally. And also, by the way, the German commentators forgot that. And I think it was last race. And they were like, German Sky. And they were like, oh, yeah, Yuki's best finish ever was like P6 or something. I was like, no, it's not. Shut up.
When you know more than the commentators.
I was about to tweet them, but then they corrected themselves.
Oh, okay. They probably had someone from the gallery going, no, you're an idiot. What are you on about?
Sacked in the morning.
Well, I mean, Yuki picked up another point this time. So little and often. Outperformed Gasly.
Yeah, I don't know what really. I know
race.
The car's not like the best it can be, but Gasly was like last season. Gasly was like really good, like top 10, like almost every race, and now it's like.
Maybe it's just a design philosophy. Gasly was definitely out driving the car last year, and maybe now Yuki's just out driving this one. Maybe his move to Faenza is really paying dividends. His morning workouts.
Oh.
Oh, how he loves those. I
mean, Alonso put a shift in. He ended P9.
Yeah.
From last.
Yeah, that is a stonking drive. The Alpine is definitely better in race pace than it is in quali pace.
Yeah.
Because
where was Ocon in quali?
Ocon was, yeah. Ocon didn't make it to Q3.
Yeah.
So, but Ocon finished 7th.
Yeah.
So, and he was the second last car. So he was still on the lead lap. So, I mean, everyone from Alonso down had been lapped at that point. So, but to come from the back to P9 is good effort. Another engine issue for Zhou Guanyu. Oh, yeah. He's not having the best of luck already this season. We're only 6 races in. But the bigger issue was Charles, who was quite comfortably in the lead.
And you would have won it easy.
Oh yeah, that was a walk in the park at that point. And then his engine packed up. So
yeah, the noise was not great.
No, it wasn't.
The replay when they show it from the camera in the car, it made some strange noises.
Yeah, I think his immediate reaction was that like the turbo had exploded or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've actually confirmed what the issue was.
He said in the interview afterwards that it wasn't an overheating issue because that's what a lot of people like expected it or like thought it would have been. Same with Guan Yu Zhou, but it wasn't. Because that would have been 2 Ferrari engines going out with overheating issues if it was that, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, the Mercedes engine had overheating issues, or specifically the Mercedes had overheating issues, which cost Lewis 4th. Mm-hmm. So it would have been an even better drive, really. But George had enough of a buffer to keep hold of 3rd. But I find it interesting that both of this is DNF critical messages came at the same time, because for me that sounds maybe not overheating, but more fuel.
Yeah.
Like if you don't, because it was they were told to lift and coast, and lifting and coasting, yes, will help cool the engine, but isn't using fuel.
Yeah, because you have to have a certain amount of fuel left in the car afterwards, obviously.
Yeah. And you can put up to an amount in, but it doesn't specify like a minimum. Yeah. So, but obviously if you run out of fuel, you're screwed. Yeah. So I feel like...
I wonder if they miscalculated it, but that would have been a rookie mistake at Mercedes.
Yeah, but we've seen that from them occasionally, haven't we? We've seen mistakes that have cost them, like Hamilton not pitting at Hungary and
not getting Bottas' tire off.
Okay, yeah, that was... I don't know if that's a mistake. That's just unfortunate.
It did get him the world record of longest pit stop ever, so...
Yeah, a solid 48 hours. But yeah, it was... I think they're playing funny business saying it's overheating. I think it was they'd underfueled the car.
Yeah.
But
conspiracies. Who
knows? Someone at Mercedes does. So if you're working at Mercedes and you're listening, you're like, give us a bell.
Give us the inside scoop.
This is how I take over Ted Kravitz's job. Because he has everyone's number.
Literally.
I just need everyone's TikTok. Other social media platforms are available. Due diligence. So with Charles and Zhou Guanyu were the only DNFs for the race.
No safety car.
No safety car, which ruined my predictions. Charles DNFing ruined my predictions. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And didn't even make it to half race distance either. He went out on 27. So
that's mad.
Yeah, not good. And it wasn't an old engine either.
Yeah.
It had been in 2 races. So that's not ideal. Albon received a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Hamilton was shown a black and white flag for track limits. Perez got the fastest lap. And the point scorers, bottom to top, Tsunoda, Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Perez, Verstappen.
Also, turn 4, Sainz and Verstappen went off.
Given the almost identical nature of that, I'm willing to put that down to wind.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen Max Verstappen make a mistake on his own like that in years.
Yeah, I mean, in tennis, that's what you'd call an unforced error.
Yeah.
And since he had his run of crashes at the start of a season, I haven't seen him make those kind of errors. There was, maybe you could quantify or qualify the Saudi Arabia qualifying mistake where he tapped the wall and ruined his lap. Maybe that would count. But
that was just, the risk was high.
Yeah, he was going for it at that point.
Yeah, there was no other way to do it.
Yeah, but that was a big off. I mean, Carlos has cost him a lot more.
Oh yeah, I mean Max won.
Yeah, but Carlos dropped down to P14.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there was anyone that I was expecting a "let's pack it in" message from, it would have been Carlos at that point, to just be like, "Nah, we're done here."
He did recover.
He did P4. It's his best ever home race finish.
Would have been nice to see him up there fight.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with how it went.
The stats book doesn't lie. There hasn't been a Spaniard on the podium not called Alonso.
Mad. And also the last 5 years, I think Hamilton won.
Yeah.
So I think that's,
Yeah, they should have put 2016 up there as well. At the start of the race, they showed all the previous winners.
Yeah, it was that they showed the last 5.
Hamilton.
Good old Maxi boy on his Red Bull debut. But
that record will never be broken because now you have to be 18 to race in F1.
Yeah, they've assured that one. So, and this is when someone pulls out a driver with a fake ID.
I can't imagine that happening.
What's your name, McLovin? So, I don't know. It's an interesting thing that they've done, but the quality of drivers we've got, like you look at F3 and it's like they're all 16, and it's like, well, if they progress through, they'll be 17, just about, maybe turning 18 if they were to do the natural progression up the ladder. So I feel like eventually it might come back to haunt them, because there'll be a driver that is definitely ready for an F1 test at the very least, but isn't old enough.
You have to be 18 to test.
I don't know.
You have to be 18 to race.
That's the thing. It'll be something on the super license probably that you'll be 18, but you can do an FP1 test without having a super license.
Super license, yeah. I think you have to be 18 to get the super license. So, yeah.
So, because you have to qualify for the super license, you have to have done 300 kilometers in an F1 car.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be done in private tests or in FP1s. So technically, Théo Pourchaire has already done some kilometers because he did a test with Alfa Romeo in Paul Ricard last year. So he's got part of it, but I think he'll be the rookie that they test. They being Alfa Romeo, obviously.
Yeah.
At various points this year. I'd be surprised if he didn't test again in France, because A, that's his home race weekend.
That would be a cool thing for him.
And B, he did a test there last year, so he knows the circuit. And he's raced F2 there, so he's got a vast amount of experience, and there's a shed load of runoff. So a mistake isn't going to be that costly. As against, say, running a rookie in Monaco.
Has that ever happened?
I honestly don't think so, but if it has, suicide.
Wild.
Career suicide.
But can you imagine if you nail it though?
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. If you jump in and do a Michael Schumacher and like put in a pace that's worthy of qualifying 7th, then sure. But I don't think the team would allow you to give it the full beans.
Probably not. That would be crazy.
I mean, we saw Yuri Vips get in the car in FP1. He got in Perez's car, and he was last in the Red Bull, but he was doing hard tire tests and very much long runs. He did get to put the softs on, but again, I think he was on a higher fuel load run because his times were still slow. So I think they were very much data gathering for the race, which is shrewd to use your rookie candidate in such a way. But why not? You got to run it. You can see how he puts up with team orders.
Which are very important at Red Bull.
The Valtteri, it's James, is becoming whatever his name is.
It's Checo.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Checo was not allowed to pass Max when Max was having DRS issues. And then Max was promptly waved through. I mean, okay, at that point, he was 1.5 seconds a lap faster.
But then if you want, like, if you're Max Verstappen and you're that good, surely you can just overtake on your own.
Yes, but I feel like they wanted to make it certain because he was having his DRS issues.
Yeah, but personally, my opinion, I don't think the 6th race of the season is like a good time to start team orders.
2002 Ferrari.
I'm not saying it never happens. What do you mean Michael Schumacher got through?
What do you mean Austria?
So I think that was like too early to make it that obvious.
Yeah.
Because I think Perez deserved to race for that position.
Yeah.
Obviously, they shouldn't have put on like a proper fight because at some point it's just like, well, you're just
hindering each other at this point.
Yeah.
But at least do what Alpine did at Saudi Arabia and let them battle it out for a little bit and then go, okay, look, this guy's obviously quicker. So can you just let him through now?
But it was just like Max caught up and then it was like, okay, Checo, time to go away.
But that's the thing. A few laps before he made his pit stop, or rather after he came out after his pit stop, that was when he put his soft tires on to do the fastest lap attempt. He was over 20 seconds behind Max. At the end of the race, he was just over 13 seconds behind. So he had pace in the car.
Yeah.
It was just the tires at that point in their strategies.
Do you think they planned the strategies so that Max would come out on top? Because obviously Max then was on the newer tires, so he was 1.5 seconds faster.
Conspiracy theories. We love them. I
don't think it was a plan from the start, but I think it formed during the race.
Yeah, because Max wouldn't have been in that position had he not had his off.
Yeah.
So, like, Charles wasn't zooming away at the front. Max was very much sort of there or thereabouts. Maybe an undercut pit stop sort of window of opportunity, but he wasn't threatening Charles each lap sort of distance. But, he was still going quicker than Carlos and Perez behind him. So it's a tricky one because you want to maximize the result for the team. And obviously, if the guy in the second car is going faster, then you want him to pull out a gap at the front in case something happens. Because we'd already had 2 engine-related DNFs that race. There's nothing to say that a third one couldn't have occurred and would have pulled over at a point that would have required, at the very least, a VSC, if not a full-on safety car. And if they'd got a full-on safety car and Checo's been holding Max up for so long, then they've damaged both of their tyres for 0 gain.
Yeah.
So
I think they still should have let them battle it. Like
at least a couple of laps.
At least if he was that much faster, he would have caught up and then just overtaken me on the straight with DRS if it was working.
See, that's the thing. just press it once, Max.
I did. It was so funny. I can fully see him in the car, like a child when
me playing fighting games when I'm trying to pull off a combo.
Yeah, me on Mortal Kombat. Other fighting games are available, but
well, wait, what's the other one I play? Injustice 2.
Oh,
because I want to be a superhero.
Of course.
But it's just like just imagine him like smashing the wheel in the car. Just, come on!
Yeah, literally.
But it's another little thing for the car, isn't it? It's just another issue that they have. So obviously, I mean, they'll fix it. It's Red Bull.
They've still got a 1-2 and Perez got the fastest lap.
Yeah.
So Max
Overall,
won every single race that he finished this season.
Yeah, overall, it's still a good result. You know, you can't really complain.
Yeah, Max is now in the lead of the championship.
Yep.
5
Red
points,
Bull now are in the lead of the constructors as well.
Yeah.
So we've gone from double Ferrari to double Red Bull, which, to be honest, given the way that the Red Bulls were going, isn't that surprising. Ferrari, it's not like Ferrari have fallen off. It's that Ferrari have had the wrong strategy or the wrong setup or a mistake.
Or unlucky, like Charles was.
Yeah, I mean, you can say the same for Max in Australia and Bahrain. It's at the end of the day, luck is a part of the sport. Luck is a part of every sport. You know, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But setup is not luck based.
No.
I mean, you could see it. We've seen it every single race so far. The Ferraris have been quicker than the Red Bulls in the technical sectors, which is fine, but you're not overtaking anyone in the technical sector. The most you're doing is pulling out a gap to the guy behind you. The Red Bulls, however, are faster on the straights. And that's where you are overtaking people. And I feel like Ferrari need to change their race setup philosophy so that they can actually get back at someone when an overtake is done. Because we saw it in Miami. Once Max got past, that was it. Done.
Yeah.
Because even with DRS, Charles wasn't that much quicker. But when Max had DRS, he was zooming. He was like 20 kilometers an hour faster. And when Charles had it, he was only like 8 kilometers an hour faster. And that's not enough to make an overtake. In real life, yeah, fine. But
even that would take you quite some time.
Yeah, but you've got a long bit of motorway ahead of you or something, haven't you? Whereas on a Formula One track, you've only got a kilometer and that's it. Until you slam on the brakes and slow back down to like 40 miles an hour again. So, yeah, I feel like that's what needs to change at Ferrari to help swing it back towards them, because the car's there. For once, we can actually say Ferrari are competitive. We haven't said that for the last couple of years. I mean, the podcast's only been going one, but, you know, just for the sake of argument, imagine we've been going for longer.
Since illegal engines.
Yeah, exactly. Since they got the almightiest of wrist slaps behind closed doors, they just haven't been anywhere. And now they're back. They're getting pole positions. They're getting race wins, but they're getting race wins when the other competitors aren't finishing, which is the issue. You've got to be able to beat the best to be the best.
Yeah. And as you told me today, Charles Leclerc has never won a race which it didn't start from pole. That is not my fact. Richard told me that fact about 1.5 hours ago. But yeah, I was quite surprised.
For me, that's something he's gonna have to change if he wants to be up there in terms of like who are the greats of Formula One.
Yeah,
because you talk about the greats and they always have a drive where they've come from like 12th, 13th and ended up on the podium. And when we talk about Lewis Hamilton in Brazil, and he went from the back of the grids to 10th in the sprint and then up again into the race win. You don't talk about drivers that only ever win from pole as being the best.
Yeah.
Past Maldonado.
Sergio Perez, his first ever race win, he was P20.
Yeah, exactly.
That was one of my favorite races, I think. That was incredible.
But Pastor Maldonado is the last guy to convert his maiden pole into his race win.
In Spain.
Yep. And he was there in a Williams hat.
Yeah.
What a legend.
That was great.
I love that he gave a thumbs up, because I was like, that is the Pastor Maldonado seal of approval.
Yeah. That was great.
So, yeah, it's something he's going to have to look at. Like, obviously, you can't do it if your car can't overtake. So, And yeah, I'm sure the Ferrari can blitz past any other car on the grid, but the problem is the one that's going to be occupying first, if he's not, is either his teammate or the Red Bull. And that's going to be a different issue. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one because you're going to have to change the whole aero of the car. And I don't know how easy or not that's going to be with the new cars, but a lot of it is like the rear wing, isn't it? So we saw it with Mercedes. They took a lot of the rear wing off and trialed that, and it worked a bit. But now they've got a whole like floor package and everything, and that's working much better for them. So
question is, are we going to see a Sainz win this season?
That's the other thing, because Sainz hasn't even got a pole position yet. Yes, he got his best ever qualifying result at his home Grand Prix and his best ever race result at his home Grand Prix, but he had another mistake, and
that cost him maybe the podium.
Yeah, and just wasn't on the pace of Charles.
Yeah, and the question is, if it's a Ferrari 1-2 and Sainz is in front, are they going to team order Leclerc past him? But they will.
They have.
I think they have a
history.
What do you mean?
I mean, Michael Schumacher.
No. But then he gave the victory back though.
Yeah, that was after he'd won the championship.
But still, that was a nice thing to do. Not everybody would.
That was like that would have been like Lewis letting Valtteri through at Abu Dhabi 2 years ago and be like, "Go on, son, have a win. Hey, this is for all the times you've been Valtteri. It's James."
Yeah, but still.
No, I know.
Big up Rubens Barrichello, by the way.
one of the greatest to never win. So Formula 2, and well, I mean, basically this weekend was the Felipe Drugovich show.
It was.
And if that remembrance is correct, it's kind of becoming MP Motorsport's happy hunting ground because they've won the last 5 races around the circuit. Which in a spec series is impressive. So Jack Doohan got pole position. But then from then on out, it was just Drugovich. He started, I want to say, where did he start on that? He qualified 10th. So he would have started the sprint race from near the front. So, made a couple of overtakes, got it done. Or was he? Is it top 12 or top 10? No, it's top 10. So he started on pole. He started on pole, made it work, and just drove away from everyone else. Finished 2.1 seconds ahead of the next nearest car. Decent. Then for the feature race, started 10th. Extended his first stint an obscene amount, then pulled in, put on the new hards, and just went quicker than everyone. I mean, when he made his overtake on Doohan, it was just easy as you like, really.
Yeah.
He'd finished the overtake before you really got to the braking zone, so done.
Not really a challenge.
No. But that's what good tyre management and good strategy offers you. If you can make it work like that, then you just have easy overtakes. The podium for the sprint race was Drugovich, Iwasa, and Logan Sargent. And the podium for the feature race was Drugovich, Doohan, and Vesti. Which means that Drugovich now leads the Formula 2 championship. Kind of unsurprising, given he scored 36 points this weekend.
Yeah, madness. Quite an improvement from his last weekend, where he scored 5.
Yeah. Teo Pourchaire only scored 8 points this weekend, so is now in second. And third place is Jayan Daruvala, who only scored 5 points this weekend. Didn't score in the feature race. His engine gave up, didn't it? I think it was Jayan's car. Because there was a safety car and there was a car just parked at the bottom of turn 7. just in the middle of the racetrack. Like, didn't even bother trying to pull off to the side, just left it there, which I thought was a bit odd. But hey ho. And then, so rounding out the top 5 for the Formula 2 Championship, you've got Liam Lawson and Marcus Armstrong. But Marcus Armstrong is now 50 points behind Felipe Dragovic.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the next round, which is this weekend in Monaco, will bring us to the halfway point of the season. So, yeah. I'm not going to say anyone's won it yet because it's Formula 2 and literally anything can happen. But given that there is a 45-point gap between first and third, I think it's almost become a 2-horse race at this point. So, which is still brilliant. I mean, we've seen plenty of seasons where it has been a sort of a contest of 2 drivers. Mick Schumacher's season was definitely him and one other were very close, but there was a couple of others behind him as well.
Yeah, it's him and Ilott.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there 12 races in F2?
Does my thing not scroll over far enough?
If you're on the F2 website, then it scrolls over.
Oh my God. There's a scroll bar. I've been pranked. Okay, so Baku
is
halfway point. I didn't have anything after Spa.
Yeah, just ignore Zandvoort, Monza.
We don't need this. Oh God. Or Yas Island. Who needs that?
Yas Island.
Definitely not the last one.
Yas Island. Okay, yeah, so Baku will bring us to the halfway point. So there's still a fair way to go. So anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, I find really fascinating, like every time I watch an F2 race, because I sometimes watched it like last couple seasons, but then I watched the documentary series on it, and that really got me back into it. What I find really fascinating every time I watch an F2 race are the pit stops, because it's only one guy getting the tire off, putting the new one on, and it's wild.
This is a lot of stress.
And then they go in F1 and you have like 70
100,000 people. Oh, there's definitely
now,
a TikTok I need to show you.
This just reminds me of Greedo from Cars. Just one man job. That's all it takes. Yeah.
Pit stop.
Yeah. F1 is, yeah. But we don't refuel anymore. So at least one person is off the hook.
So Formula 3 was interesting. Was the reason we had some sausage curbs removed from the inside of turn 2, which is where we have the runoff rejoin bit if you run wide at turn 1. But there was a sausage curb there, and a couple of the F3 cars went over it and were getting launched, which is not safe. So between sessions, they had the sausage curbs removed, which is much better. Because there was a point where one car had all 4 wheels off the ground, even though it wasn't giving it full beans. And
yeah, that shouldn't happen.
No, exactly. So glad that they rectified that. Qualifying, Roman Stanek chucked it on pole position, with Victor Martins in second and Alexander Smoya in third. The sprint race was won by David Vidales, with a podium of Jack Crawford and Caio Collet, with Arthur Leclerc in fourth. Where did Arthur start, actually? That's a good question. Come on. So Arthur qualified 5th, and it's the top 12 that get flipped. So he would have been 7th, somewhere around there. So he's made up a couple of positions in the sprint. And then the feature race was won by Victor Martins, with Roman Stanek in second, 2.4 seconds back. Isaac Hadjar rounded off the podium. Smolyar fourth and Behrman fifth. And Leclerc not having a good one as he dropped down to 16th.
Such.
Yeah.
Isn't Correa the only one to have? He scored many, like he scored points in almost every race, didn't he? That might be wrong, but I read it on Twitter and I was like,
He took a round out to recover from injury, but every race he has partaken in, he has scored points in.
That's quite crazy.
Yeah, so he has missed a round and is still 9th, which is quite good going, to be honest.
It was 10th this time.
What? Oh, in the race. Yeah, no, I just meant 9th in the overall standings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But he was P10 in the race yesterday on Sunday.
Scooped a point.
Kept the streak going.
Yeah. Let's see how he does. Next time out for them is Silverstone, so a bit of a gap. But let's see, Juan Manuel Correa's on 21 points. Victor Martins leads the championship. He's on 62 points. Roman Stanek is second on 56 points, and Jack Crawford is third, 50 points. I'd say the top five's still a reasonable contention at this point, given that there's only, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 rounds in F3. The top 5 are covered by 19 points.
All to play for.
Given that you can score 25 for a race win, that's not bad. So in 4th, we've got Isaac Hadjar on 47 points, and 5th is Arthur Leclerc on 43 points. And then there's a bit of a gap down to Alexander Smolyar on 28 points. So again, we'll see. Next time out is sort of almost halfway. Can't really get halfway in nine races.
So we get a third of the way in.
Now we are a third.
Yeah, we're a third of the way through now.
Good at maths.
But it's just, it's so close. You can't really call it at this point. With the amount of points that are available, it can easily flip on a weekend. So, this weekend, Victor Martins did increase his gap at the top, but only increased it by 3 points. So, Roman Stanek is still there, keeping it in contention. So we'll have to see how that goes. Jack Crawford dropped a bit. He only scored 18 points this weekend. Isaac Hadjar scored 16 points in total, and Arthur Leclerc only scored 7 after his less than optimal feature race, shall we say?
Yeah.
It looks like such a competitive field in Formula 3 that any of those could easily win the whole thing. And to be honest, I'd be surprised if all of those top 5 didn't make the step up to F2 next season, because we know what the turnover's like in terms of drivers getting promoted. Half of the grid for Formula 3 is rookies this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like the top 5 would probably be the ones that the teams in Formula 2 are looking out for. Obviously, that will depend on contracts with current drivers and F1 prospects, and whoever wins F2 obviously can't come back. So there's at least one spare seat. So, but lastly, that brings us to W Series.
Jamie Chadwick series.
It was just a Jamie Chadwick masterclass once again.
What confused me was the last 2 races the last 2 weekends that W Series have been a part of. The last weekend W Series was a part of. There were 2 races.
Yeah.
And this race weekend there was only 1. So I don't know what's going on. I thought they'd changed the format so that there were 2 races per weekend, and this weekend there was only 1. So is it just there's 2 races when there's not as many support categories there?
Yeah, maybe.
What? So I'll be interested to see what's going on there. But I mean, like the rest of the calendar is Silverstone, France, Budapest, Suzuka, Austin, and Mexico City. So we normally get like Silverstone will be a full card. That'll be F1, 2, 3, and W Series, guaranteed. Le Castellet has at least, I know F2 are going there. F3 aren't. So maybe that'll be another race with 2 races.
Maybe it depends on if F3 is there or not.
Yeah, Hungary, F3 will be joining them, as will F2. So that's a full card again. Suzuka is not an F3 track and isn't F2's either. So that's just W Series. So I reckon 2 there would probably be manageable.
Should happen.
Surely. Austin is just W Series. And then lastly, Mexico City, again, just W Series. So
question is, how many of these races is Jamie Chadwick going to win?
All of them.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, given that she's won the last 5. Yeah. I think the only thing that's going to stop her at this point is
car failures.
Yeah, reliability issues.
Yeah, I will be actually angry if she doesn't get into F2 next year. That would be wild.
At the very least, she has to have an F3 seat. At the very least.
I think she goes to F2. Because they made a point of saying that the W Series is not F1 for women. It is so...
Yeah. It is a feeder series.
Yeah, it is a feeder series.
The point of a feeder series, though, is it has to feed. You can't call yourself a feeder series if you don't produce prospects.
Yeah, and I mean, if nothing like crazy happens, Jamie Chadwick's going to win it the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
And surely that should mean that she's at least going to be in F2. And personally, I think that she should... There needs to be a woman in F1 at some point. In the next 5 years, we need to see it. It just needs to happen.
Yeah. It's been a while since we last had one. Yeah. So...
Yeah, also, can you imagine the sponsoring that the team will get? Because there was some talks because she obviously is part of Williams.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
She's in the Williams Driver Academy.
Yeah. So they were like, but Williams doesn't have any money. But if you bring a woman who's won championships, multiple, there will be sponsors that currently are probably not even in F1 because a lot of other companies will be interested in supporting that. So I don't think F3 is enough. I think she should 100% be in F2 next year.
Yeah. I'd agree with you. It's just, I feel like there's going to be that stigma that the other drivers in F2 proved themselves in F3 and got themselves a seat that way. Like that is the bottom rung of that sort of ladder almost. Like I know there's Formula 4 and all of the regional competitions, and W Series is almost sort of like Formula 3.5 because it's sort of in between the F3 spec car and the F4 spec car. But yeah, it's
a difficult one, and I know I see where you're coming from. However, I think that winning 3 championships in a row
it certainly
should qualify you.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that a driver has skipped F3. It wouldn't be the first time.
Didn't Max Verstappen skip like 500 race series?
Went straight from karts to F1.
It feels like it.
Well, yeah.
He skipped F2.
Yeah, he did. So did Lance Stroll.
Well,
if memory serves.
He skipped that for different reasons than Max Verstappen did.
Okay, Google, play Money, Money, Money by ABBA.
Yeah.
Hang on, I just got to check that mine hasn't actually gone off. Oh, it has. Okay, Google, stop. Thanks, Shannon. It hurt me.
You should have said Alexa.
I know.
But yeah, so I think Jamie Chadwick. She at least has to be in F3. I would say she should be in F2.
Yeah, I mean, if she goes to F3, she'd have to absolutely clown everyone and just be like, "Why did you waste my time here?" If she goes to F2, I can't
wait for the day that happens.
Honestly, I want it to, because she's just cruising in W Series at the minute. And that's nothing against the other drivers, because they're all competitive with each other. It's just Jamie's currently in a different league.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, what league is she in that we don't know?
Yeah. Where does that league fit in the conventional ladder?
Yeah.
It's just where we've never had W Series before. We don't know.
Yeah, but I, as Richard said, like, if you call yourself a feeder series, then at some point you should have some sort of idea where, if you're winning W Series, or if you're winning races in W Series, where you fit in F1, F2, F3. Yeah. Like, obviously cars are going to be different and stuff, and there's a lot of other factors, but still there should be a rough idea of where you are.
I mean, to me, for the longest time, it reminded me of like the old Chelsea youth program, where we had everyone under the sun, but none of them made it to the first team, and they all just went out on loan somewhere else.
Yeah.
And now the Chelsea academy has like provided some actual first team starters, and I think can actually call itself a route to the first team.
Yeah.
So for me, W Series is currently in that phase of just sending everybody out on loan. It needs to produce someone to get to at least F2, even if they don't make it, because we've seen so many drivers that have been worthy of F1 seats not make it.
Yeah.
For various reasons. Callum Ilott, Oscar Piastri, Robert Schwartzman should probably be in F1 at some stage.
Nick de Vries.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And we just don't have enough seats.
It also helped prove that W Series is a way to actually get there.
Yeah. Well. I think W Series will prove its point if Chadwick gets a seat in F2, because then it can at least say, look, we have given a platform which has basically kickstarted your route towards F1.
Yeah, I think that's also the goal that the W Series should have, and they said it is, because it's not a separate like racing series for women. Like, obviously it is, but it shouldn't be like separated from the other ones, and it's just like a stepping stone for them, because historically it's just been harder as a woman for various reasons.
Yeah, it's for women by virtue of the fact that it is their exclusive stepping stone to help them get on the ladder, because it is such a male-dominated sport. If it wasn't such a male-dominated sport,
we wouldn't
need W Series. We could have just series. It wouldn't be W. It wouldn't be. We could have the W and M series. You know. So yeah, it's. I was about to say like F and M, but then I think Tesco might have a go at me.
Yeah, I think W Series only basically like fulfills what they set out to do if they get in this case Jamie Chadwick, because she's just like at the front, like nobody is really challenging her. If they get her in F2, because I think she might be in F3 in the meantime, and obviously we don't know how she would do there, but I think their goal should be to put women into F2.
Yeah, definitely.
In the long run.
Definitely. Right. We need to do Monaco predictions now. Yeah.
Monaco predictions. It's going to be difficult.
Don't sound so enthused, Ben. You've only got to try and come up with a bold prediction.
That it was a Monaco Grand Prix until today.
How did you manage to avoid that?
It might rain.
Yeah.
It might rain on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday has a thunderstorm logo.
Well, do we think that Charles Leclerc will finally beat the Monaco curse and have a decent race and therefore a podium, because he already crashed in Monaco this year with Niki Lauda's Ferrari. So surely he has to crash out of the way. One would think, maybe.
Bad things always come in threes. He crashed. He had an engine failure. He will crash again. That will be the third, and then he'll win the championship. But if he doesn't win the championship, it will be only the second time in history that a driver has not won the world championship after having a points gap of 40 points or more. The other time, 2012, Fernando Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
Stats!
However, I think what needs to be factored in to Monaco this year is how
It's broken.
how freaking huge the cars are. Have fun bleeping that, sorry. Because they are huge. They are wham. They are wham. Like, remember last year when Mick Schumacher overtook Mazepin and the hairpin? That won't happen because there's only one car that can be there.
I thought the cars were supposed to be smaller than last year's.
Yeah, they're not though.
F1 car dimensions.
They take
2022
more years to turn as well.
I'm pretty sure they're bigger than last year.
Okay, the 2022 will not be bigger than previous models. At most, it will be slightly longer thanks to the nose cone. And it will be heavier, but not bigger.
Well, it's still not going to happen, is it? We're going to get one overtake, and in the meantime, Lance Stroll will be on the replay.
What happened? We need to know.
Nothing. It's Monaco.
Interesting. Right.
Prediction time.
Yes. Ben, pole position.
Charles Leclerc.
Nia has said Leclerc. Chris has said Leclerc. Sonja.
I would say Leclerc.
Oh, what? let me just run the tape back. Sonja this afternoon said Verstappen.
I did.
You're changing it.
I thought about it.
Now Chris has said Leclerc, and I say Verstappen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to say Verstappen.
I thought you were going to say someone very different.
Lando Norris.
Oh, Paris.
Carlos.
Would they even be able to use team orders around Monaco?
How can you even let someone pass?
Sergio, Pitt. It's the only way we can get Max past you, Pitt. But I'll drop to 12th. Pitt.
I know it's Verstappen, but I think it'll be Charles.
Okay.
I made my mind up.
Have you changed your podium prediction?
What were my predictions?
You did say Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell.
I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
Curveball.
Okay. Ben?
Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz.
Okay. Chris has said Leclerc, Verstappen, Russell. Nia has said Sainz, Russell, Ocon.
Mad!
Obviously, the Monaco curse has continued. I'm going to go for... See, I'm now remembering I've put Verstappen on pole. I was about to say Leclerc for the win, but he's not won a race from not the pole position. So Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc.
So we all think that Leclerc will make it to the podium.
Except Nia.
But that's a wild prediction. That's like me putting Lando Norris in third last year, and then it happens.
Yeah, but the Alpine's only good in a straight line. Changed my mind. It's not a lot of straight lines around.
A corner is, in theory, loads of straight lines, just like
segmented.
Yeah.
Ben, bold prediction.
changeable condition race.
You actually think we're going to get rain?
Yeah, it's the only bold prediction I can think of.
Sonja, what you got for?
As a bold prediction,
It's hard.
it is hard in Monaco. Because it's not a bold prediction if I say Latifi puts it in a wall, is it?
No.
There's plenty to choose. If you specified which wall he put it into.
What corner?
Latifi will bin it at Portier.
Latifi will bin it where Charles binned it last year in the thing. Was it
Swimming
was it
pool.
quali? Yeah.
Oh, what, in the swimming pool section? Okay.
That's not a bold prediction, though.
Heroics into Sandbot.
No. Wait, I have a bold prediction. 3 people will bin it at the same place. There we go.
Triple bin.
Triple
That's
bin at the same,
3 bins, 1 spot.
yeah. And one of them will be Latifi.
Okay.
That is my bold prediction.
I feel like my bold prediction now needs to be like Leclerc will finish the race.
Bruh.
Because nobody said it, but he hasn't finished it. No, what do I want to do? I'm going to say someone will gain at least 5 positions in the race.
Over the cut of dreams.
So,
Just for the funsies, throw a name out there.
oh,
Alex Albon.
who is due a really bad qualifying performance to make it up in the race? Who has the balls to chuck one up the inside? Oh. Oh, who has the strategy masterclass? That's the question. I'm going to go for Vettel.
Ooh.
Just because they did a pretty decent job on strategy last year, with his car at least. And the car is a bit of a donkey, so it will probably qualify at the back. So, do what I do in the game and hold everyone up, then take a pit stop and come out in front of some people. I'm so bad at Monaco. I'm literally like a second slower than the AI.
The worst thing about it is that every single time I go into Monaco, I'm like, this is the time. I'm not going to touch a wall or anything.
Sandoval.
2 laps in. Yeah.
Oh, God.
It requires too much concentration.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Sonja, because we no longer have Mazepin with us, we rebranded Mazepin Bingo. It's now lap down showdown.
Yes.
So the choices are now, which driver will be the first to be lapped? On which lap will they first be lapped? And how many laps down will they finish?
I'm saying Latifi will be lapped first.
There are 78 laps total for reference.
What is realistic? He'll be lapped in lap 29.
How many laps down?
At the end?
Mm-hmm.
3.
Ben?
I'm going to say Mick Schumacher.
Oh. That's heartbreaking.
I don't think it finished last. But I reckon
you just think he'll be the first. Yeah, fair enough.
Lap 28. And then 2 laps down.
Okay. I'm going to say Latifi. I'm going to say 35 laps. Maybe there'll be a pit stop. Maybe there'll be a safety car. We don't know. And then I'll say 2 laps down. Chris has said Latifi, 34 laps and 2 laps down. And Nia has said Latifi and 40 laps and 2 laps down.
Wait, what was the other? What was Nia's bold prediction? Did you put one in?
Oh, yes. Chris's bold prediction was there will be a Mercedes on the front row.
Oh, that is a bold prediction.
And Nia's bold prediction was the Mick Schumacher. I read MSC and my brain went, Michael! Mick Schumacher and Zhou Guanyu will both get into Q3 and will both score points.
Oh.
So
can you imagine scoring your first points in Monaco? That'd be wild.
Discord, we have some predictions in there. Wev has said pole position will be Leclerc, podium of Verstappen, Perez, and Russell. Obviously, the Leclerc curse is continuing. KR45 has said pole Verstappen, podium Verstappen, Perez, Bottas.
Oh, curveball. That is also a bold prediction in itself.
Tay has prefaced this one by saying that if this comes off, they'll buy lotto tickets for everyone. Pole position, Kevin Magnussen. Podium of Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, and Carlos Sainz.
If this happens,
I will give you 1,000,000 points.
Can you also give me $1 million if this happens?
I don't have that kind of backing.
Call Latifi and then you'll have it.
And Nils has currently not provided a pole position, but has said a podium of Leclerc, Sainz, and Perez.
Double Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, Sainz got P2 there last time. So, results from last weekend.
Oh no.
Sonja, you won.
Yay!
You scored 4 points by putting Perez on the podium and by saying that Max would win.
I'll take it.
Ben, you came second by saying that Leclerc would get pole and putting Verstappen and Perez on the podium, but not in the correct places. Me and Nia were joint third with 2 points each by both saying that Leclerc would get pole position and by both having Verstappen in the wrong position on the podium. And Chris did not submit anything, so got nil points. Loser. Bold predictions. Ben, the Russell top 5 streak. You said that would finish. It did not. So you did not win the one. Nia said Haas double points. That didn't happen. Chris didn't send one in. That didn't happen. One of mine happened. That was the Nick De Vries faster than Latifi at FP1. The other one was Mick to score points.
Ouch.
We're just going to gloss over that. It's fine. Just going to gloss over the fact that it was also in the TikTok vibe. Lapdown showdown. Joint winners, Ben and Nia, both got the correct amount of laps down and they both had the same lap, so they were closest. Again, Chris didn't submit anything, so got no point. The real answers were Kevin Magnussen, who was lapped on lap 17 and finished 2 laps down. But you both said Latifi 25 and 2.
Yeah.
So I said Stroll 32 and 1. Damn it. And Discord, Mason won with 7 points. They said Leclerc would get pole and correctly put Verstappen and Perez 1 and 2. KR45 came second with 6 points just for putting Verstappen and Perez 1 and 2. And third place was Vince, who put Verstappen first and Perez third. So they got 4 points. And that's your podium. We now have the joyously boring wait between race weekends. Sonja's streaming again on Wednesday. I'll be editing this video until Tuesday evening. All right. And then we'll be back the same time next week to bring you our Monaco review. Hoping it's not a snooze fest. Oh, please. As long as it's not a snooze fest, we won't care.
Yeah.
I mean, Spain wasn't, so.
No, exactly.
Hopes are up.
Yeah, but Spain.
Don't do that.
Spain wasn't really a ball fest last year either.
No, exactly. Spain's been okay the last couple of years. It just has a precedent. And Spain wasn't boring this year because of technical issues, whereas Spain wasn't boring the year before because of strategic fights. So yeah, we'll see, because you can't really do much with your strategy in Monaco. It's just make sure you come out of your pit stop ahead of the guy you want to be in front of. Technical issues, I mean, that's anyone's guess. That's luck of the draw. So we could have some more of those. That could be fun. I mean,
Red flag.
Charles had his brake issue. That was sort of the kickstart of the Monaco curse, wasn't it? So we could see some biffs into the wall.
Yeah, we could see a heroic to Sandoval and a traffic jam.
DRS train down the straight.
I wouldn't even call it a DRS train.
DRS
Just a tram.
DRS caterpillar.
Oh God. Well, let's see how wrong we are.
Please.
For the love of God, please.
Rain would make it interesting, though. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how long that forecast lasts, because I'm sure we've had rain on the forecast at Monaco before, and it's just been like, no.
Yeah. What the last time it rained was 2016 or 17.
I don't have that knowledge to the top of my head.
I remember it's
Monaco's not a track I
Ricciardo
particularly care about.
I'm pretty sure it's 2016 when Ricciardo.
What has his long pit stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, pain.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Right. But in that case, thank you for listening and or watching. Please like, rate, follow, rate 5 stars, whatever it is that you guys do. Comment if you're on YouTube. We nice to see some comments every now and again. And we will see you at the same time next week for more shenanigans. Goodbye.
Bye.